It is Movement Monday. Today we have a movement of the week where we take a traditional movement, find out where we tend to go wrong when you're in a hypermobile body and how we can make the movement more hypermobile specific. The challenge for you is to practice the movement. We'll go through the technique today and to practice it at least twice this week. And comment, let me know when you've done it so that we can all encourage each other and do it together. So today's movement is a squat. One of the most common movements in kind of the fitness world, if you've done any sort of exercise classes in the past, some variation of a squat has probably been incorporated. Squats are important. They are a pattern that we have to use day to day, as far as getting up and down from the toilet or stairs or getting up and down from a chair. Squats are a pattern that we need to use and we need to strengthen. If you're somebody that deals with pain with squats, avoiding squats altogether often isn't a sustainable activity. There may be a time where we need to limit squats, whether it's your range of motion, how much you are doing to allow you to build back up. But in general, strengthening it and using it is one of the best ways to get stronger. So let's talk about some areas where people go wrong with a squat and how we can make this a little bit more accessible in a hypermobile body. We'll also go through a modification to help you start working up towards it. So what you need today is a chair or an ottoman or a weight bench, something that you can sit down on. If you're newer to squats, also something you can stack on top like a yoga block or a couple of textbooks or a couple of weight plates to make that surface a little bit higher. Let's set up and I will grab your equipment and see you over there. All right, you can wear a sturdy pair of shoes. I'm gonna go barefoot so you can kind of see what's happening with my feet. We're gonna stand in front of your chair, ottoman, couch, whatever. And just bring the back of your thighs to barely touch it. To get started, we want to make sure you are honoring your own anatomy. So for people that are out here all the time, pointing forward isn't going to be realistic for you, and vice versa. So find what's your natural stance. So around hip width apart and what's comfortable for you. Maybe a tiny bit of toe out, tiny bit of toe in. If you notice you have like one foot that's like way out and the other one that's forward, you could bring the one that's way out a little bit in, but we are not symmetrical people. So work with your anatomy. That's okay. Find your natural stance. Notice your feet and where the weight is. So the back of our thighs are touching the surface behind us. We've got weight at the base of our big toes, weight kind of across our forefoot into our heels. So we're got like a 3-point stance. Toes, base of the big toe, midfoot, heel. Where people go wrong is a lot of people squat forward. Typical cue is put the weight in your heels, and sometimes we'll take that literally and literally just squat from our heels, which is also not what we're going for. We want like a 3-point stance. We want our weight in the whole foot, the whole movement. And this is where a squat is going to differ from a deadlift. Every single exercise when you're in a hypermobile body, especially if you have hypermobile shoulders or spine, hips, is I'm going to have you engage your shoulders. So it's going to be up 50%, back 50%, down 50%, rib cage down a little bit, hands here. We've got those lats engaged, which go from your shoulders all the way down to your back. Okay. We're going to breathe. Elbows are in, that we are not out here. Everything is kind of tucked and in. Weight stays equal through all 3 points. Breathe in as you go down. Blow out as you press equally through the feet. Your knees are allowed to go over your toes. Play around with the surface. I would say if it bothers you, start at a high surface, gradually work down to a lower surface. I always like to stick with an endpoint. We're working the whole trunk, focusing on keeping a stable surface here, but most of the work is going to be in our thighs. Breathe in as you go down, blow out as you come up. At the top, we're not hyperextending back. Just push through your feet and then stop. No extra squeezing at the top. No like squeezing the glutes, no squeezing the core. Focus on your breath and your alignment, and things should happen how we want them to. So the challenge for this week is between 5 and 10 reps. More is not always better, so just keep that in mind. You're going to do 2 to 3 sets of that 3 times this week. Today counts as time 1, so if you can get it in 2 more times, that's great. You can do too many. So again, more is not always better. Just work on practicing. So I could probably go to a lower surface. We're going to stick with that for today. And that is your squat. If a squat is difficult for you, stack some books up so you're not going very high. What you can do for modification is a wall sit. So if we go to the wall, kind of same thing. We're just going to lean into the wall, find your natural stance, weight equal through your feet, and then bend your knees just a little bit. Again, your weight's not just back in your heels. You're just going to hold an isometric. You're going to find an angle that you can tolerate. So some people can't tolerate this shallow one. It might actually feel better to go a tiny bit deeper. Should be difficult. Breathe. Don't hold your breath in this position, but we are strengthening the quads, and you can play around with different angles and hold between like 3 and 30 seconds. As far as like our lean, it's okay to lean forward a little bit for the squat or the wall sit. Honor your natural anatomy, your femur length, how tall you are, your strength, stability. There's a lot of factors that go into these full body movements, but they can be really effective and get a lot of movements at once and really translate into daily life. So let me know how your squat felt today, and don't forget to do it 1 to 2 more times this week. Comment when you do it, just to remind other people that we're all in this together. And I will see you next Monday for our Movement Mondays.